All right. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here to join us for our adventures in space and our adventures in talking nerd talk about the brick. We already got folks in the chat. Brahm is in here calling us the highlight of his week. I'm sorry your life is so bad. And Murtaugh Bricks, thank you for joining us on an Airbnb. That's awesome. Micah, welcome to the Lego chat. Glad you are here. An old friend of mine, Seth, glad you're in the chat as well. So as people are joining us and everything, let's go to see who is in the room with us. And we have a full house. Oh, our guest left. Maybe he'll come back in here in just a second. Oh, we add him back to the stream there. All right, we'll go around. We've got Mark with us. We got Rich with us. We got Dana with us. We lost our guest again. We've got Rich. There's Matt is with us. Ryan is with us. Dana, everything's shuffled now. There's Greg, Gil, we'll call him Gil or Captain Canuck today. Adrian is in the house. And what's up, Meredith? How are y'all? All right. So, welcome to the chat. Neil, our friend Neil from our club, is in the chat. And we're hoping our guests will be able to pop back in here and make our room of 10. So it's been a good week. By the way, if you hear thunder or if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'll leave it at this and drop out, sounds like there may be a thunderstorm popping up around. Is it raining at your house, Meredith?
Yes, it's downpouring.
Yeah. We, us Georgia folks, about after 3 o'clock every day, just expect it these days and everything. So, all right. So we'll go around the room and let's see. Let's start with Matthew. Matthew, what's going on in your world, man?
I'm back on the big cathedral project, the 13,000 piece. It's downstairs as usual because I built it while I'm watching some stuff on the TV. As you know, the joke is the forever sorting, but I think for Dana and I think Dana would concur that when you're building a project, it's also forever ordering because I miscount. So I was working away. I realized I miscounted the number of 3x3 plates I needed. So we're making progress, but I've got to wait on a few more parts. So I'm working on a different part of it. Probably next week I'll show you.
And he's frozen.
You went frozen there. You're going to show me what? What are you going to show?
And he's still frozen.
It's a cliffhanger for later.
I don't know. That kind of dramatic pause.
And that in this chat room actually is a dangerous question. What are you going to show? So, anyways,
after last week, we can't leave that open. That's not.
No. Oh, he's got a shirt. Okay, and we're properly dressed. All right, good. Good. Speaking of properly dressed, thank the Lord that that Ryan is properly dressed. Ryan, what is going on in your world today, man?
It was one time, man. One time.
One Monday. That Monday.
It was a one messy Monday. Not a whole lot. We started going through an old box of Lego that sort of traveled with us from home to home, and we've never really dug into it a whole lot, but it was a little bit of my wife's childhood and her brothers and sisters and her parents and actually one of her uncles. And at some point in the mix of these old Lego sets, a bunch of old Tycho stuff was mixed in. So I'm sitting through sorting out weird pieces like inverted slopes that have indents in them and hinged plates that aren't really plates because they're like a plate and a half tall, but end up being a brick tall together. So there's weird stuff that I'm weeding out a little bit and trying to figure out what to do with.
Cool. What can you tell us about what's going on at the park where you work?
What park is that?
What park is that?
It's going. I don't know how much new I have to report. Just a lot of ongoing construction and preparing the site for models to start going in, hopefully before the end of the year. And the park is still on track to open next year, but I don't know that date yet. That hasn't been announced just yet.
Gotcha.
But can you tell us if
there will be so much Lego there? I'm really excited about it. There's some stuff going into this Legoland that aren't in any other Legoland, so I'm pretty stoked.
That's cool. I found it really interesting that when Lego Masters was on and they connected it and were pumping your park in it, obviously it was produced well before and while y'all were in the planning stages. And when, spoiler alert, Tyler and them won, that they were going to have their model displayed there and they got a trip there and then all the models are coming and then all this stuff started going down. So
yeah, wow. It's crazy. The last thing I'll say on that point is I'm the person who will eventually be in charge of every single Lego model in the park and the maintenance of it with my team. And they didn't tell me that was going to happen. So I'll be in charge of Tyler's stuff later on. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Right now it's at Legoland, California.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. So wow, you'll be in charge because his and the other, all three like finalist models.
The finalists, yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And they were all excellent models and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Brick Studio, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I'm almost at 200 subscribers. So once we get to 200, we'll do something. Anyway, so we'll have Ryan put on a shirt. Anyway, so
or take off a shirt.
No, let's
or another piece of clothing.
Put on a shirt is always awesomeness. All right, so let's.
And Chris is
head over. Adrian, what is going on? Welcome to the chat, man. Man.
I guess it's me now. All right.
It is.
So wait. Matt's wearing.
Look at there. Look. Wait. There we go. Look.
Twinsies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Wonder twin powers activate.
So for the last few weeks or sessions or however, I've been talking about the bathtub project, and it is finally done. So I will show you guys. I decided to get rid of most of the duckies, and I just went with just a single ducky chilling out. So it's very, very traditional conservative kind of action. So I can replace anything I want in the bathtub. So I put some poop in there once. I put full of duckies once. I used. I've got these beads that I bought that are the same size as soccer balls for my kids' great ball contraptions. These look really great in there. These beads do, but they really look like bubbles. But
dude, you're getting so many negative comments right now. You got a disappoint. You got a lame, conservative.
Adrian, don't listen to those comments.
You know what?
Don't listen to those comments. That is just freaking awesome.
So that if I put a little scenery in the background, so that I can replace that. That's just a single panel. It's kind of like this almost 3D, but not really kind of action back there. The trim around the edges, the tiling. There's the little the seam between the tiling. So there we go. That is my most recent project. And
where's the Lego grout?
Yeah.
Absent.
It's black grout.
So notice my professional lighting system. I have professional lights.
Wow.
Are you jealous, Chris?
Nice.
I am.
Those are from Caitlin because she has a whole bunch of photography stuff in the basement. So I just brought it up here to make use and make my lighting here a lot better. Also, some other thing I got to pip my friend James, my carpenter buddy. He built this tower for me to store these yellow trays. These are all just kind of like a lot of it is Technic. So I just kind of keep Technic work stuff sorted in these, and it's just this nice little tray set.
That actually looks like the shelf that what's his name did on his one day build thing.
Adam Savage.
Yeah. He did a shelf.
I actually used that. Yeah, I use that kind of shelving too here for these tubs. These have all my work parts in them, my work colors. I got those. I got a cabinet here that has slopes and stuff. And then I've got 2 cabinets here as well.
Awesome.
Oh, and the reason there's no bubbles in the bath is because I don't have any of those bubble parts. I have 2 of them. So I'll get more eventually, but I wanted to show this.
They were on Pick-a-Brick, I want to say a year ago.
Oh, yeah. And I never go to Pick-a-Brick, so. Hey, I know one of my lug friends is going to get me a handful, so I'll be fine.
That's cool. Hey, let me ask you about the drawers there that you have in the thing. Are that's like the bottom of a sort tray, or what kind of drawers are those that you have in your?
These ones back here.
Yeah.
These ones back here.
Yeah.
These are part trays from like hardware trays from the hardware store. That I just took the cover off.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought.
There's just little rails on the cabinet that they ride in. That's all those are.
That's cool because I've got some that I have to pop the lid all the time, and that to me gets super annoying. I got to pop the lid and pop it back on, and so I like that. That's super cool.
They take up a little extra room because like between an inch and 2 inches of space between each one, so it's a stack is higher. But it's so much easier. They're not stacked on top of each other, so I can get this bottom one out really easily.
No, I really like that. That's super cool. That makes me want to have somebody make that for me too. All right. Anyway, so all right, that's awesome. Let's go to the Great White North and check out Gil. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Not
Don't
a
do that,
whole
man.
lot in a Lego way. Not a whole lot in a Lego way, in a build sense, but something that I came across which was kind of neat when I was cleaning things out. And by the way, just on a side note, missing it on Monday after seeing the recap and the horrible turn of events that happened, I'm probably never so glad to have missed a show in my life, and at the same time never so sad. So yeah, because Rye, I'm really glad that I actually saw that after we decided to have children, because if I saw that beforehand, it's like having like 100 cold showers like sprayed in my face. So
speaking of, welcome my son to the chat. Thanks.
Yeah. So anyway, besides that, I ended up finding this thing, and no, it's not the Kama Sutra for Rise shirts. It's actually it's a design book that I did in my dark ages, first year of university, and there's about like 6 or 7 designs in here. I would try to show it on the camera, but they're just too small. Like it's all like really tiny stuff, right? But anyway, it's basically it's in like a classic space kind of style because it was like 92 or something. And I'm really sad that Brian's not here tonight because it totally steals my joke from saying that's when his parents were in high school. So Brian, I hope you're watching this in rerun because man, you stole my thunder. But anyway, my thing is that what I'd like to do is actually build a couple of these as is using old styles because it's like all, almost no snot, studs on top, classic space kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Build one of those and then build like a modern version. So maybe that's something I'd like to try to do for the stream. So
that's cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Super awesome. We are glad you're here. And another fellow Canadian has joined us. Good to see you, Jeff. Micah has joined us. And Hoosier, I mentioned that. And also, my son is upstairs cooking some noodles for dinner. So, all right, Richard. Rich, how are you doing this evening? Let's head to you, man. What's going on in your world, buddy?
We're going to start looking at a few places this weekend in Pennsylvania for our eventual move. Lots of activity around the house, packing things up. I actually just unpacked a few things so that I could show you off some stuff, but I'll pack it up again. So, but in the meantime, I've been promising my wife I'd finish my rebuild of a cafe corner mod type building, and I'm almost done. I'm this close to being done. Did you see it? I couldn't tell.
It looks
Let's
great.
put it up there again. Let's see it again.
Okay, let me just move the camera.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
There's some pictures on my Instagram about it. There's full stuff in the ice machine and soda, the beverage dispenser, eating in the restaurant and the bathroom. Access to the upstairs, got full apartments. Full apartments, radiator heating.
Hey, wait,
shower.
what was that medieval torture device on your ceiling? That was kind of cool.
Oh, that's an antenna for.
No, not that. Go to the right. Go to the right.
Oh,
yeah, that thing.
Those Dr. Octopuses. Along with my Hulk and Spider-Man,
It's that phone version, right?
Yeah, I got them all displayed. Got to get the Dr. Ox out.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. All
So
right.
when we're ready to talk about micro, I'm ready. I got some stuff ready to show off.
I got you. Now, wait a minute. That building you made, which is a town building, are you planning on turning it into a spaceship? Because, if not, get out. No, I'm kidding. All right. All right. Let's see who we need to go to. All right. Meredith, what's going on in y'all's world, except it's storming like it is at our house?
I think it stopped. It stops. Yes. Well, my husband, who hasn't touched a Lego, how long has it been since he's done Lego? Like 2 months. He found a giant bulk deal. We got Smog. She's still missing a piece. We put a red one on her.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
That's hard to get. Yeah.
We'll do a screen share here. It's coming. There it is. The bulky bot.
Whoa.
So we've been going through that, and we like to call the minifigs the victims of the Sharpie massacre at this house because every single minifig has Sharpie on it. Smog was spared, but everything else there's a Hulk big fig that's just like covered, just top to bottom in black. Yeah, Natalie's been cleaning them. So
yeah, I thought that was a Venom figure when you sent me that picture, but I guess not.
No, it was a kid going to town on it with a black Sharpie. So that's what we've been doing. We're trying to clean up that big sorted lot, and everyone's fighting who gets the cool Smog dragon.
Cool. All right, good deal.
That dragon's amazing. Dragon's amazing.
Yeah, I love the wings. The wing material. Why can't we do that again?
By the way, if you hear my dog, he is having his happy growly dance right now. I don't know why. So,
he's a good boy.
Yeah, that's cool. And I never grabbed one of those. So yeah, that's pretty amazing.
I think the dragon goes for like $50 now on Brickley.
We looked it up. Like the cheapest one is 90.
Way more.
Yeah, 90.
Way more. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Now that he's dropped a piece on the floor and he needs to, Mr. Sandlin, what is going on in your world?
Space.
Yay!
All right, Mark, tell us who you're wearing today.
Me. Space. Retro space.
Where did you find such an outfit from?
On TeePublic. I made this shirt. I made this. It's fun.
And it can be purchased where?
If you go to TeePublic and search Fleebnork, I have a few things that I've uploaded. There are Fleebnork shirts. There's Space with this retro 1978. There's also Ryan's favorite Fleebknockers is available.
Fleebknockers.
If you did not see Messy Monday, and that might be okay if you did not, then you would understand what that was all about. So anyway, continue.
Anyway, in the Lego world,
it was PG rated.
Anywho, some of you
t-shirt contest.
There's a piece thief behind me. I built this a few weeks ago. You guys probably remember the classic Spacey mesh that I made. So the last few days, I made him a little friend who likes to use magnets. Mtron. See, he's got his crane arm with the magnet Mtron box on it. I'm going to make one of the larger Mtron boxes in a few minutes here. I do have the Mtron printed panels for his shoulder pads, so he's extra fun. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now is just kind of working on this little dude and having some fun with that. The Peanut Gallery, Small Paul, is working on he's working on a mountain base over there, so we're having some fun in the Lego room tonight.
Nice.
All right, good deal. That sounds fun. Yeah, my kid came in off camera going, "Do you want some mac and cheese?" I'm like, "No, I don't want mac and cheese." Anyway, maybe later. But anyway, All right. So we do have a special guest, and we will get to him last, but next to last. And let's go ahead and look at our old gray set of the week. I've gotten everybody else though, except for our special guest. So Dana, it is your turn. Let's see what you got.
So, like yourself, I had to go out to Target the other day and pick up one of these little bad boys. So
yes.
I will pimp this as Chris pimped it earlier on Monday. Such an awesome little set. The details on this are so classic space. I don't know who designed this one from the Lego group, but it is an homage to some classic space. The figure we all know and love. The fact that the cockpit comes off and there is all sorts of control panels on the inside. He's got the classic levers that he's using for his control sticks. Little rover on top that you can use the crane for. Fantastic. The back portion comes off and there's a habitat inside. The only thing it's missing is a toilet and a bed. Other than that, you can go off on this little rover and be self-sustaining on the moon. And I really love it. And Chris, I know you probably were know about this too, but this door,
super cool.
Super cool.
Wait, no, there's a bed in there.
Is there a bed in there?
Yeah, what do you think the brown thing is in the back?
Oh, you mean the tan thing?
Yes.
The tan thing? Yeah, I guess that would be considered a bed. I guess I wasn't looking at it that way but you're right. That is a bed. So that is cool.
And the suit is advanced. He just goes in the suit.
Yeah, he just goes in the suit. He doesn't have a little toilet. But the little crane to pull the rover off is fantastic. The articulation or the articulation of the wheels is just fantastic. Cannot rave enough about this set. So I would go get it. And as we were talking about the window or this door here, it's the octagon shaped ship windows that you're used to seeing on the Coast Guard boats and stuff like that. Just an awesome technique on there. So loving that. The other thing that I was working on this week, as Chris and I have gone back and forth on, and everybody else in this group, is talking about Mills plates. And for those of you not familiar, it is I don't even know what the acronym stands for, but it's basically you're taking a base plate and you're adding on a brick to make it a little taller. And then you go along and you put plates on top of that. And what it does is it gives you this ability for these channels to run wires for lighting. You can also take out the bricks and you can create slopes down so that you can create like pools for water to give yourself an additional bit so that when you come back up, so you've got kind of a hill that goes on. It's used for a lot of town terrain layouts. And there is a group up in the Northwest who also does this, the Northeast, who does this for moon-based plates. And as we've all talked about, the huge investment that would go into this would be insane to do a 48 by 48 base plate for an entire layout of moon plates. And considering that my moon base is, I think I'm up to a 4x4 layout, so 12 plates. That would double the cost of my base plates, basically. Because when I figured out the price on this, and I looked it up on a guy online, if this is a $7 base plate, the pieces to do this and then put the plates on top is about another $5 to $7. So you're basically doubling the cost to do your base plate. So before you even start building on top of it, you've already doubled your cost in parts. So probably not the best for every builder, but there are some definite pluses and minuses to doing this. And so it's something I want to take a look at. And as we start getting into our guests this evening, I'll cover what I've done back here when we get to that. So that's what I've got for there. And I guess that's where we'll go ahead and give me a second here, Chris, and I'll pull up the secondary screen. We'll talk about, because I think this is actually going to create a little bit of a conversation for a few minutes. All right, Chris, whenever you're ready. So let's talk about this week's. You lost me, Chris.
Oh, add it back. I don't know what happened to it.
You stole my thunder.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, you know what? I unshared it. Hang on. I read.
I think you shared it and then it went away. I don't know. I didn't hit a button.
I was blaming you, but it was probably me.
There it is.
All right. There we go. Old Gray Brick set of the week. It is the 6927 all-terrain vehicle. I tell you what, I knew a guy when I was in junior high, I think, and he had this and I didn't, and I plotted some ways of killing him just so I could get this set because I just loved this set. It just was so cool looking. I mean, the radar dish is on top, yeah, whatever. But that giant 6x10 trans plate and the inverted blue, just blew my mind. I wanted this set so bad. So that being said, this is, of course, a classic space from 1981. A whole whopping 170 pieces. Minifigures, you get two. You get one white spaceman and one red spaceman. Used price will run you anywhere from about $40 to $50 on Bricklink today. I did also notice that I think the retail suggested price on this when it first came out was $14.99. So
wow.
It's amazing to think that a $15 set was only 170 pieces at that time. A new in box will run you close to $300. Not that there's any available right now, but there was definitely at one point in time, so Bricklink lists that as a option for price. So why is it cool? That inverted trans blue canopy is the bomb. That was the money shot on this set. As far as, you know, the piece you wanted to have out of this, because you might have had the top blue ones, but you needed that underneath to go along with it, and just so much fun. And then you've got that, of course, that 8x10 trans yellow plate on top. Of course, printed parts galore, because you've got your down arrows, your classic space logos, you've got computer screens in there, you've got the white 1x4 or 1x6s with the black lines on it. And then my favorite part has got to be the cargo drop and pickup function. And if you haven't seen this set, we'll show that to you in a moment here. But you can see here in the back on the corner that you flip open the back doors, and the cargo pod will slide out so that the little guy back there can play with that. And so, Chris, let me switch to my other cam. If you want to go ahead and, not that, hang on. And here we go. There we go. So, as you can see, out of my personal collection, I have two of the ATVs. I've got one here in the full mode with the cargo container along the back. You got your nice rolly wheels, which is always a fun feature when you're rolling across the studs. And so for those who haven't had the opportunity to play with this set or see it, the back section here, and if you can see, you've got blue slopes and some white slopes that are inverted versus regular right there. And that is actually locking in the cargo section. So as you open those open, it slides down. And so then the roller can roll away, and it's like, oh, this one's actually missing its pieces. So we'll use the other one for a second here, because that was a little anticlimactic for a second. So let me pop that back in there. So as you see here, as I open this up.
Are you having rover trouble again?
Yeah. You know, it is a pinnacle of success when you are reminded of your failures. That's all I'm going to say. So as you open it up, it drops it. And as you can see here, and this is what blew my mind, and it might be a little hard to see. I'm going to move the camera a little closer. You can see down here, you've got a little Erling brick with a stud connected to it, a 1x1 stud. And as you close the doors in the back, it actually raises it up along that little 1x2 slope there to raise it up. And as you open the gates, it slides back down and it rests on the struts on there. Even today, as an adult, as a builder, still blows my mind. Just an amazing feature that they built into there. Outside the fact that the set just looks great to begin with, just that little play feature is worth the price of admission 10 times over. So, yeah. Anybody else got some thoughts and feelings on this week's set of the week?
I have mine right here. I have one.
What always what always amazed me with that thing, all terrain, right? Yeah, all terrain if you're not going over anything more than a millimeter.
I would say that. Yeah, as far as
Dana, weren't you building a rover to go over more kind of
I will
higher?
get back to my rover. Yeah.
Look at that. There's the clearance right there between the wheels.
Hey.
Yep, right there.
That thing is like crazy. I like drive a bottomed out Guido Mustang, and I got better clearance than that thing.
You do.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that little feature to drop off the cargo at the observation station or whatever, yeah, that clearance is just a killer. I mean, they could have put some bigger wheels on it or something just to give a little clearance, but it's the 80s.
But I guess too, they've got to split. They've got to split the difference, like you said, because where the inverted meets the regular thing, like you've only got that amount of play. But I mean, yeah, it used to drive me nuts because being a set from what you said, 1980,
81,
2,
81.
So 1981, there's still a lot of shag carpet floating around in the world, my friend, and not gonna work.
Yeah, not so much. But at the same time, though, we only had the pieces that we had to work with, so we let it slide. But no, you're absolutely right.
It was an awesome set.
But you're right. That is the one drawback. The one con for that set is that it's not very ATV at all.
Yeah. Well, the thing, and you pointed it out, I guess I never noticed how integral those 1x1 rounds were with those lights in the lift mechanism of that. I just thought it was all those back things, but as you're doing that, I'm like, oh yeah, which is super ingenious that they did that in 81, and all that kind of stuff with just basic bricks. And my favorite thing, and I don't have a shot of it, but I remember having that one in my hand in the store because it had both the colors. It had the yellow, blue, and gray team, and then it had the blue and white, team, and they were all together, right? But I remember on the back of the box, there's a shot of the astronaut looking down at the camera, like the camera's down in a cavern, and it's pulled up to the edge of the cavern, and you see the space dude looking down through that big window in the bottom. That was mind blowing to the 10-year-old me at the day. Yeah. It's like he's really on the moon, right? And all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So cool. It was a good mix of playability, not a bunch of play features. Although that is a play feature, but it allows for playability in the set. So I give that one high marks too. Yep. I didn't get a copy of it until probably 10 years ago. So I'm excited about that. All right. Any more comments on the old gray set of the week today?
I do want to point out. I just want to also point out that between this set and 3 other sets in 1981 was where we got white bricks for space. Prior to that, in both 78, 79, and 80, we only got gray or blue. So this was really the first time that we got white bricks in the space sets. So
that's right. And the little corner, there's a roof corner right up where the clips are for where the walkie-talkie goes, and there's a corner slope brick, like it's
a 2x2 brick with 2 invert slopes. And this was actually the first set that it came in white in. And it was the only.
And it didn't come very often until recently. A set has had that part in it. I can't remember which, but I grabbed a bunch off of Bricks and Pieces. So
for a while it was hard to find them. Now they're a little more common, I think. But
that's good. All right, so we want to welcome our guest today. His name is Greg, not to be confused with the Canadian one and everything. So I'm gonna put him on the big screen here. Greg, how you doing? You are also known on Instagram as Danish Space Program. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you like to build and how long you've been doing it.
Thanks very much. I appreciate the invitation to come on. I was active in the online AFOL community probably when I was way too young to have any business doing that. And I was on Rec Toys Lego, if anyone remembers that, on Lugnet. Migrated over to the Classic Space forums when I was an older teenager, and that's where I met online a lot of you guys in this chat. So I feel kind of strange having talked to a lot of you off and on for almost 20 years, but never having actually spoke to you guys. So nice to meet you all finally.
Okay, can I just say that you look a whole lot younger than the rest of us? I'm just going to say that right now.
Thanks. Yeah.
Look at this. Do you see this? Look at this in the chat. Wait. Let's go around. Look at this right here.
Speak up.
Look at that right there, and then look at that right there, and really look at this right here. And wait, look at this right here. Look at there, right there, and let's look at that right there. These are some of the old guys that you're talking about, and either you've gone to a time warp or that Grecian formula works really well. So
if it makes you feel any better, I was -3 years old when the set of the week came out.
I was born during the set of the week.
That's awesome.
I hate to remove our guests, but never mind.
So yeah, so I went into lockdown with everyone else in March of this year, and I think something in that like awoken this spark in me to go all in on my old space sets, because the last 10 years or so I had been more or less active locally with some lugs here in Indiana where I'm based at, and I've been doing architecture, micro scale architecture, but I was always a space kid, and then I just had the urge to get back into it, and I took a really deep dive. So I built a micro scale version of the all-time classic here, the Galaxy Explorer. And so I built the other 2 ships from that family. And then I thought, you know what, how awesome would it be if I built all of the space sets, like all of them in micro scale? So I got on Instagram and started this Danish space program account where I'm doing this project I'm calling the Micro Space Program. And I'm doing a micro version of an official set every week until I do all of them. And I counted, I'm excluding like the weird poly bags and some of the bonus promo sets and stuff. But if I do one a week, it'll take me about 4 years. So I figured that's a pretty good project to get wrapped up in if I can actually finish it.
Wow.
I'm wanting to rename somebody in the chat weird polybags, but anyway, continue.
So yeah, I have about 50 of them, and I've been doing one a week with instructions. I've been mostly focusing on the medium to large size ones, but I've done some smaller ones as well. I think this guy is probably my favorite.
That's
cool.
Brand
recognition here,
cool.
Oh, you use the little knobby tires, the balloon tires. That is so awesome.
The one thing I'd like to
That's
change
amazing.
on this, if I can, is that they don't actually spin. They're held on with bars, so it doesn't roll.
Oh, well, I'm not going to hold that against you.
Yeah. And then I've been trying to build in some playability here and there where I can. So I've got some Ice Planet action going on here, and with this one, I used bars and clips to make it modular.
Oh, no
like
way! Oh, that's so great!
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Oh, that's awesome!
And I have a similar.
Cool.
You're killing us. I just want you to know you're killing us. Go ahead, man.
I've got a similar story and wanting to maybe plot the death of a childhood friend because he had this one and I did not, and I always loved it. And I was at a sleepover at his house one time. We were probably about 9 or 10, and we were playing with this, and the fireplace was on, and we left it on the hearth.
No.
The rocket, that really cool windscreen piece with the Ice Planet logo that has the rocket on it underneath of it, that kind of melted a little bit. Not sure how it was really just that piece, but that's, I don't know. That's my anecdote for the Deep Freeze Defender.
You don't know any reason why it was only that piece.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't remember, but that sticks out in my memory.
Hey, Greg, can you boost your volume just a hair?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you boost your volume just a hair?
I can try.
Your video is great, actually. Your video camera is so much better than mine, and I'm excited about that for micro. But if you give us a little more volume boost, that'd be awesome.
I'm on my phone, so I'm going to do what I can. My computer was not
probably having the same issue that Matthew has with the volume.
Yeah, let me show you what Matthew. Oh, let me show you what Matthew does when we can't hear him. Show us, Matthew. We really need to hear you. What do you do?
I talk louder.
Or you get super close. Anyways.
Is this better?
Oh yeah, like this. There, can you hear me now? Can you hear
But
me?
you're doing great, man. Let's see some more, man. This is amazing.
This one was always one of my favorites as a kid. Spirius.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Would have loved to have been able to get the little ship in the back, but I was trying to go more for form than anything else. And I think this one is maybe one that I've nailed the shape of better than any others. I'm pretty happy with how this guy turned out.
Oh yeah, you did.
Hey, Chris, just for those who don't know it.
Yes.
Here, my screen, just for a second.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey,
Well,
there it is.
yeah, pull yours back up there, Greg. Let's show the comparison here. There it is. That is so awesome. So awesome.
Yeah.
You're killing me, man. That's awesome.
Shape is perfect. Yeah,
Mhm.
perfect.
Thank you. So I found those old finger hinges are some of the best pieces to use for doing this little project because they give you so much detail and so many posing positions, and I found that the little antenna pieces fit in there. I don't know if I'm stressing
Really?
That is
if I'm
awesome.
stressing the brick or not, but it seems to work okay, and that's
Well,
how I
it's
got
got
the.
to be, it's got to be the same dimensions as the fingers, so no, that's perfect.
Yeah, so I've been doing that here and there with some of these. Those finger hinges are also just good for detail. Like this is a tiny little Futuron set that I did, but they replicate those 1x2 kind of handlebar space blaster pieces pretty well.
Yes, yeah.
And they also, I like that they have hollow studs in them because you can do a 2-stud to 1-stud transition that's only 1 plate tall. So for this guy, that's how I got the going from 2 studs over here to 1 stud over here in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah,
those have quickly become my favorite pieces since I started this, and I'm running out of them now. But I don't know how long they've been discontinued, but they used to be in every set, I feel like. Let's see what else we got.
I think they went out in 95.
Sounds about right. I feel like it was.
Does that sound right?
I feel like it was sometime
I think
around
so.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Going back to some classic space stuff. I never had
Sweet.
classic space as a kid because I didn't really get into Lego until the early 90s, and by then it had passed me by. So when I discovered the old sets, I was older and was seeing them for the first time online, and they were almost mythical to me. So I've always had this crazy fascination with the old stuff just because it's, not to rub it into you old guys, but it's kind of like before my time. So this was the first classic space that I ever owned.
Drop him, Chris. Drop him.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, this is a personal favorite of mine. Again, the wheels don't turn, but I'm hoping that that's something I can fix with another revision. These are actually the little standard tires that everyone probably has a million of.
Yep.
And I've jammed a 1x1 cylinder in there. So again, probably a very illegal technique, but it seems like a really good solution for those old rubber space tires.
Perfectly acceptable.
Actually, you know what you should think about, just to throw this out there, but the new 1x1 studs with the holes in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably be perfect.
That's not a bad idea. I don't have a whole lot of them.
Throw a 1x4 rod through them, or 1x2 or 1x3 rod through them, and it would give you your spinning, and then throw that through like an axle 1x2 brick. Something to play with.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Another one with that same technique, although these do spin because I have the Technic half pin in a 1x1 Technic beam. So
nice.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
The bat racks.
Wait, hang on, let me get back to you there. Sorry.
Let's see. Oh. I think there was some Blacktron love in one of these shows that I watched recently.
Oh,
that's so great.
Always Blacktron love.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I was never really into insectoids. I was kind of.
I am now.
Yeah, I was getting into like the Mindstorms and Technic stuff right around the time these guys came out. So I only ever had one set. But with that micro space program hashtag I made on Instagram, there's another guy who did a rendition of this set, and I was like, I don't really know this set. So I looked it up and I was like, it's a Bumblebee and it's really cool. So I went for it, and I used the little Wild West pistols for the legs.
Awesome.
And the eyes are actually connected to an old socket wrench piece. So
Oh,
this
cool.
has been a
Yeah,
really good exercise for me because my collection's not that big. I can store these all pretty much assembled and not run out of room in my build room, which is not that huge. And I'm not spending tons of money on stuff, which my wife appreciates. Although I have been expanding my collection for what I always wanted it to be when I was a kid. And the last dozen or so sets I've purchased have all been, you know, pre Star Wars space stuff. So it's finally growing now that I'm a full blown adult. And my kids, I can justify it because I've got kids who also like to play with that stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things
So,
when we're
Greg,
all building our collection. You kind of like, oh, I wanted this as a kid. I wanted this as a kid, and so you start hammering that collection together because you're basically like the 13-year-old in me needed this, and I need it now. So you're building that kid collection you always wanted for sure.
Yeah. I start by looking for stuff like I'm still looking for that Futuron monorail, but I don't think I can pull the trigger on that anytime soon, unfortunately. So I'm really just looking, and if something looks cool to me, even if I was not familiar with it as a kid, I've been taking another look at it. One set that I've only really become aware of as an adult was, I think I posted this the other day. Robot Command Center.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen that. That is awesome.
I didn't really ever know about this one. I, for some reason, don't recall having that, whoa, I'm discovering this experience with this set. But I love it now that I'm seeing people posting it. It's so weird. It is like, it's just such a bizarre set, and it has so many cool pieces in it that it's high up on my list as well. So I did this little guy to try to do it justice, and having the old school and the newer school robots together has been fun on my desk.
That was the parts pack back in the day. You got that set, the Robot Command Center that you said. That was like the parts pack for everything. Oh, we lost Ron. Let me add him back to the stream there. All right, yeah, that was the parts pack. Mark, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Hey.
Was it this one, Greg?
That's the one.
Was it this one?
My precious.
I have a green grocer that I've been trying to unload that I want to turn into that monorail. That might have to happen here pretty soon.
I happen to have 2 monorails and no green grocer.
Oh yeah?
So maybe.
Okay. Wait, time out. You have how many solar transports?
3.
And I have none solar transports, and you've been on my show for 4 months now, and you've not even made an offer. And Greg shows up with flashing his little micro stuff, and like, I want to get rid of my green grocer, and you're about to go. And never mind. Anyway, put that back up there. Show it. There it is.
So I did find one of these for a pretty good deal recently, and it's in like pristine condition. There's hardly any scratches on it, and it's been really fun. My son, for some reason, is not interested in playing with it at all.
That's probably best.
Yeah. But they like going for these little guys. If they get smashed, they can be put back together pretty quick. So that's fun.
So Greg, do you plan on doing the bases at one point?
Yes, I haven't gotten around to it yet because you can't swoosh a base, and I like being able to swoosh these little guys.
That is our closing thing. You can't swoosh a base. All right, there we go. That's good.
Yeah, I want to get to those too.
So I want to throw down a challenge for you. Chris, if you can share my screen, my other screen.
Yeah. Hang on.
My other screen.
My other screen. That, my friend, is what you need to be able to recreate in microscale.
I'm a good portion of the way there.
Yeah.
I'm doing the other themes too besides classics, so it's
I know.
a little over 200 sets.
Yeah, no. This is just classic. There will be another shot of this of all the other sub themes, but this is all 74 original classic space sets. So you need to be able to recreate this shot in microscale.
Hey, Greg, I also have a request. Can you put this in microscale by any chance? I mean, that would be
You know what? I actually thought about quickly building that in microscale just for this show.
Oh, you should have.
Old floppy rover.
I need
Oh,
to go back and watch that episode.
it's so great.
I wish I had thought about that. I really wish I thought.
All right, man, those are awesome. I mean, I think you're just hitting the highlights for us. How many of those do you have built?
About 50. I think my smallest one, which actually isn't together
Wow.
anymore because I used the other pieces for other ones, was 2 pieces. It was the 6804 Surface Rover, which is a tiny little set.
Yeah.
I used a roller skate, and then I used a 1x1 tooth piece, and that's how I built that one.
All right, let's see it. Show it. Where is
I
it?
don't have it. I don't have it together.
And
I had to move from my build room, so I don't have my pieces with me here. But
well, it's so huge, I can see where it'd be trouble for you getting it from one room to the other, right?
yeah, let's see, where is it? Another Mtron one that I was pretty happy with. It's tiny. Is the Beacon Tracer. This one is only, I think, 8 or 9 parts.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
not quite to scale, but dead on though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're killing the vibe of the original sets, where it's immediately recognizable to us, especially those of us who built it and everything. Somebody find some duct tape and duct tape Ryan to the room. Can we?
Thanks a lot. I'm trying to keep some features consistent between all of these. They're not all exactly in the same scale, but they're all probably somewhere between like 1/4 to 1/3 the scale of the real things. And even, some of the same pieces I'm using different parts for in these micro models, but some of the things are like the those half octagon panel windshields. I'm using the 2 cheese bricks to show those pretty much wherever they show up.
Yep.
The old classic space style short windscreens, I'm using a cheese slope with a 1x1 plate and 1x1 tile behind it. And then for the longer, newer style ones that showed up with, I think, was it Space Police? I'm doing that, but with 2 plates and the tiles on top behind it. So that's how I'm trying to keep a consistent scale between them. The wheels are another way that I'm trying to keep the scale. I'm using these for the medium-sized plastic wheels as well as the old rubber tires, like what are on the Solar Transporter. And then these 2x2 dishes I'm also using for the 8x8 octagon windscreens.
I love that little set right there. That was Futuron, but it was so great. So good. All right. Oh, no. I've run Ryan off. Somebody didn't get the duct tape in time. He may be having some connection troubles. All right. So we have marveled at this amazing stuff. So if you are not following Danish Space Program on Instagram, you really, really need to. And I tell you, just go right now. It's no spaces in there, right? It's just Danish Space Program all mushed together on the Instagram name. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. I've got the old classic yellow minifig as my avatar, and it's filled with micro gunk. So that's me.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, are you putting these on Flickr as well? I can't remember if you are.
I kind of abandoned my Flickr account just because it's so much more convenient to have my phone able to do all that stuff. So I did have a Flickr. I think my handle was like City Blocks 9 or something like that. And yeah, the comment about those being an advent calendar, I've had several people reach out to me and suggest that. So I don't know if I have the skill set to produce something like that, but I have thought that would be cool if they were an advent calendar. And it's a future thing to maybe consider.
Yeah, and the desire obviously is like, okay, Lego, do this, but you're using pieces that are out of print and they don't mold anymore, and the system of the finger hinges aren't used and everything. So I mean, there are probably replacements that Lego do, but they would not look as those click hinges are so clunky that they would not look as refined as what you're putting out. So all right, so all of us in the room probably have built some microspace before, so you get to be our judge since you are now crushing it and everything.
Right,
but we've built some microspace. Actually, I'll ask you first. How would you define the scale for microspace, or is it there's some leeway in there?
I think anything smaller than minifig scale can be called micro, but I feel like there's like a fine line between making something that's just a little smaller than minifig scale, and what kind of makes these guys what I think pretty cool is that they have enough detail that you can recognize them, but they're also small enough that you can build them with just a handful of parts, and they have that little like collectible miniatures vibe going for them.
Yeah.
And I actually have had thoughts
Cracker
of
Jack
what
box
cool,
kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, what kind of cool tabletop game could I end up making with these, just because they feel like they need to do that. So if it has that type of feel to it, I say it fits.
Cool. All right. So I know some of the guys in the room, some of the and everything. By the way, Meredith, did I do this? Did you guys show off what's going on in y'all's world today? Did I talk? We talked about it, but you didn't show us the boat. We need the boat. We need a boat.
Update? Hold on.
I'm sorry, I just thought about that.
We're on the other side of the table because I cleaned off the table a weekend ago. So we're on the other side of the table. I have to go bring it around.
Before we delve into micro, I want to go Gigantor with the boat. So yeah, I need to see it. Okay, she's paused, and we'll talk about things. And look at the lovely lake behind their house and all that kind of stuff.
Adrian,
beautiful.
I'll trade you some poop for some white bubblies.
That is the
No,
weirdest thing
I've got a lug
today.
member friend of mine. I got a lug member friend of mine who's got a bunch of those bubbles he's going to load. So I got to hook up. I just haven't got a chance to see him yet.
All right.
He lives an hour.
That sounds like something they would.
That sounds like
something someone would say to you, like in the corner of like Los Angeles street corner or something.
or on alt/something/.
All right, let's get this out of the gutter. Here we go. Golly, that's cool.
Yeah, the boat. Oh man, that's so cool.
So great.
Gold.
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
That's awesome.
It's
the design
coming.
work on the captain's cabin back there, that's the best, and I love it.
Yeah, you can't really call on. Let me take the top off because it is modular.
That is such a dangerous phrase to say in this chat, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't quite get it in. There we go.
Oh wow.
You can do.
So you got the
Sorry.
interior going.
But yeah, she's decorated it all.
That's so great.
Furniture in.
That's so cool.
All right, so I agree, Murtaugh Bricks. That thing it does. That's why I forgot to have her put that on there. So that's super great. All right, so let's go around. We some of us got some micro to show off and all that kind of stuff. I think Sandlin, I saw him first. So if he's nearby, yeah, there he is. All right. So let me zoom in on this, eh? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, it's a tiny bit blurry.
Don't steal my thing.
Hey, there's a kid in the corner.
Do to boot it. All right, I'm using my external cheapo cam, but this is a micro scale classic space moon base that myself and Small Paul, who you can see in the background, wave, say hi, Small Paul. He and I put this together for a log meeting that was the theme was micro scale. So yeah, we built these little buildings. We got little rockets and stuff. We got a little classic space style little ship in there, little landing pad, and a couple of the tiny astronauts I managed to find in various places. But we got that little spaceshipy thing there. Got a little rover back here in the background. It's not a very good one, but it's something that we put together.
That's awesome.
A couple of rockets blasting off back here. Yeah,
and we'll make Dana happy because the base plate is tan, not gray. So
yay! Oh, I was going for the old school catalog look with the tan moon.
Exactly.
Yes.
So fun. All right, let's see.
Nice.
Dana, Rich, you've got some stuff, right? You wanted to show off. Let's go to you, man.
Well, when I was a kid, the biggest thing that I wanted to build was Star Trek. I wanted my own Enterprise, so I tried all kinds of stupid blocky things and never could get what I wanted. So I then moved into this form of microspace.
Oh, cool.
So essentially, a deck is 2 plates high. So that's all that you could be in there. is a person. Is lots of sensor arrays. There's a hatch. This is the bridge. There's these are jump engines, and you can configure a third one there. I wanted to do multi-geometric shaping for builds all the time. Those are the main impulse kind of thrusters. And you can build off of this a third jump engine to get even further. But also when I was a kid,
It's almost like a
space,
Battlestar Galactica.
yeah, kind of like that. It's not quite, but close. Also when I was a kid, space program was pretty big and shuttles and things, and I always imagined what a second generation shuttle would be. And I just figured out that I could update my 1976, 77 version with these little tiles that can absorb heat there and round them off there a little bit so they don't burn off the edges. And then somewhere a few years ago, I decided I was going to update it with second generation shuttles. Now, these are kind of based on this scale of the shuttle that came in the Discovery sets.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, you made the
So
doors
I've got
open.
a whole. Yeah, for that one, I could do the doors open on a lot of them, but you build them that way open. I've got an Endeavor, I've got a Voyager, a Columbia, an Enterprise. You name it, I probably got like 11 of them. Plus, now that's the governmental non-military version, and then there's the military USAF versions. And of course, they're like Space Force 1 and Space Force 2, because you always have to have a backup.
Oh, got those chrome wings on there too, man.
Bro.
Yes, yes.
You got some serious money in your hands right now.
You wouldn't believe how much money I've spent on chrome in the past few years. And this is third generation shuttle. These are all on the same scale here. And these second generations are scramjets. There's the idea is that they suck in air and burn fuel and get altitude, not necessarily from a rocket, but to get them all the way into orbit, but burn fuel, get refueled, and burn more fuel on the way up. Same for this guy.
Sweet.
And then as time went by and things got better, I could build real Star Trek things.
Yay!
There it is.
Sweet.
NX-01.
So
And then I decided I could do some, I'm not going to show the other original series kind of Star Trek-y things. I'm going to show you some alternate universe type stuff. This is from one alternate universe. This is the Shepherd.
Yeah, nice.
Sweet.
And if the light is right, you can see right
Really
through
nice.
the nacelle for a glow.
Sweet.
Maybe if I do it that way. Yeah, you can
Oh,
barely
yeah,
see
yeah.
the glow.
Yeah.
So it's got the glowing nacelles if you get the right light through it.
Hey,
And then I
Paul
built-
Harvey, welcome to the chat, man.
And then I've got some Mirror Universe, ISS, Klingon conversions or adaptions. You know, they took over the Klingon
Oh, that's cool.
universe, and it's got its own. I think I knocked off some stuff here. Yep. Yeah, I knocked off a piece. But there's a couple versions of Birds of Prey from the ISS version universe where the Federation has stolen some technology from the Klingons and adapted it to their own. Things like that. I enjoy doing that kind of thing in micro scale.
Cool. All right, but now you got to have the original, either original Enterprise or movie Enterprise. I got to see it, man.
Okay, well, you go somewhere else and I'll come back.
Oh, oh, he left. He went to the shipyards to go get it. All right, so let's look around here.
He's got to go get it.
Let's go to Adrian. You've got some stuff down there I want to see. So this looks like,
Okay.
I believe, a moon base, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if I can share a picture of something else.
You should
let
be
me
able
see
to.
if I can do that. Share. I can share. Okay. Let's see what happens. I want to show that. Is that? Can everyone see that?
I haven't seen it pop up here yet.
All right. I'm pretty crappy at that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it the stupid way. Here, let me show you this real quick.
Yeah,
So back in 2005, I built. I don't know if I can even show this because.
Yep, we can see it.
Yep, we can see it
Oh,
right.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, not now. That's cool.
There we go. So back in 2005, I built this moon base module, and it's a 2x2 module, 96 by 96, and it was a moon base reactor where the reactor core cracked, as you can see the crack in the white piece, and a bunch of zombies got turned, and they started harassing all the people on the ground. So this is like in the heyday of moon base time in 2005, and then I built. As is my way, I built a copy of that in microscale of my own module. So this is that same module scaled down 3:1 as a little baby 32 by 32 baseplate module of that same reactor.
Sweet.
As a moon base base. And to prove to everyone, just so that you can, bases can swoosh. So
Hello.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. And that's my. So that's and my two children hiding over there in the background.
Hello, children.
So that's the only micro that I was able to dig out on short notice.
That
so
was
that's
one
what
of the
I got.
best dad looks I've seen in a long time.
He does that crap to me all the time. My other one, you can't even see him. He's buried in his chair all the way in the corner. Like he's slouching down. You can't even see him. You just see his blonde head on the top there.
Oh, I think I see it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll put this back over here. So that's my small little bit of micro that I've got to show.
Sweet.
That,
All
or
right.
I could show DS9, which is also micro, but it's 8 feet diameter. It doesn't really kind of work with the small aesthetic. You know, it's not put together either, but it's micro, theoretically.
All right.
Oh, and the phone was probably some sort of telemarketer trying to sell me something, so I just ignore that crap.
I was gonna say, who has a landline?
Yeah, a landline. Way to go! I've got an AOL address, but man, you've still got a landline. Come on.
I still have a landline, believe it or not. I still have a landline. I don't know why, but whatever. It's.
So Adrian,
welcome to chat, Alyssa. There you there, and
so Adrian,
and I mentioned it quickly. Our friend from old times, Colin Harvey, is in the room. Colin, it's good to see you, man. Colin and I talk just about every day, but man, it's good to see you in the Lego stream here tonight. All right. Before I go to Mr. Overachiever Troubles Rovering, I wanted to show mine. I've got some a little bit of micro. Hey, Dana, do you have some pictures of the club's micro stuff as well?
I was gonna say I have our stuff.
Oh, great. Let's see it.
Yeah, let Mary show hers.
Well, they're buried somewhere, but I took pictures. So hold on.
All right, share away.
Sorry, I'm probably gonna make it go to infinity. Can you see now?
There it is. I got it. Add to stream. There it is. Yep. Sweet.
So these are kind of our first mocks 2 years ago, ever.
Okay, so you've gone, and this is great. Don't get me wrong. This is super great. You've gone from that to building a boat the size of my car made out of rock.
This is Natalie's first mock. We were supposed to do micro moon bases.
Yep.
And Natalie wanted to make an amusement park, and I helped her on this one. I made the base for it, and she did all the decorating. But apparently, on the moon, you need to be amused.
Of course.
But this is the other one we made. Actually, this was a collaboration between Brian and I. He actually built the base. We both had a lot of Blacktron growing up, Blacktron and Space Police. So he made the base, and you can't really see it here because I didn't take a video. It actually has a little Blacktron monorail running around in the center.
Nice.
So he built that part, and then he's like, well, I need a mining town. So it's supposed to be kind of like mining whatever the yellow stuff is that Blacktron's using. We don't know.
Mhm.
So that was that one. And then we have a lot, unfortunately. Let me go back. Boop. And there's my child. And then here's my moon base, which was a carved out of a mountain to make a planting type garden situation. But these were our first mocks like 3 years ago, ever.
So if they're going to have an amusement park on the moon, I really hope they have a bouncy house.
Well, with my child, I'm very certain there is one. But yeah, that was the mock challenge from the lug, and Brian started building one, and he didn't know what to do with it, so we all started building one.
Yeah, and guys, as you're going along, whoever, look for a spouse who likes Blacktron. Just saying that. Just going ahead and say that. That's
So,
some.
My brother and I, we had to share the Blacktron, but he made all of the Blacktron dudes had to be called Axl Rose. And to this day, I don't know why they all had to be named Axl Rose.
All the Smiley Face Blacktrons were Axl Rose. Is
They
that
were
right?
all Axl Rose. It was a sign of the times. It was the mid to late 80s.
Was Axl Rose just the most baddest person he could think of? And
It was the baddest mamma jamma we could think of.
I am now going to call all of my Blacktron guys Axl Rose from now on. That's awesome. All right. Let me take a moment to share. I'll share the micro that I have here. It is a scene that we made for or whatever. I'm sorry, my camera doesn't zoom very well, but it is a meteor about to hit a space base. There is a escape rocket right there, and an escaping little rover here with some treads and all this kind of stuff. But this was our 16 by 16 challenge to make a scene or whatever for our lug, and so there it is with all the meteors and stuff coming in. So,
Chris, you need to
that's
make
my micro scale I got there. So
you need to make a speech bubble coming from that says, "This is fine."
Yeah, the dog's like, "This is fine." That'll be hilarious. All right, let's go here to which do you want to do first? Your stuff on the table?
No, do the alternate screen first.
Do what now?
Do the screen shared first.
Okie doke.
Yep.
There it is.
So this was I want to say it was March of 2018. We had a lug challenge to do a micro scale moon base, and I have to give credit to that idea to Chris, because that was his idea. He's like, because we had done a micro scale city, and he's like, "Ooh, what about micro scale moon base?" I'm like, "I love it. We should do it." So about a couple months after the city one, we did the moon base one, and so ironically, because it was such a smaller scale, we had a huge turnout of people who actually submitted an entry for it, which was awesome. And as an ambassador, that's what we strive for, is to get people challenged to build outside their comfort zone. So this was a really fun challenge for everybody. And we actually got to display, I think it was 16 of these, 8 in one Lego store and 8 in another, because we have 2 Lego stores within driving distance of our lug. So I was very excited to be able to display all these. And we even actually had one guy who lives as far as Savannah ship his to me so that he could have it entered in. It's actually the one all the way down here in the right-hand corner. Todd Hagen, if you're watching, shout out to you. Gotta love the collaboration, and really and Chris has talked about this in general for the moon base, and we've gushed over this. This is what it's all about, of being able to come together with everybody building their own piece to a specific standard height for the connectors, and then you just go crazy with whatever you want. I mean, you got a guy over here who's got a big giant centipede who's now eating the base, huge garden centers, tall towers, you name it. People are throwing it in there, and it was just a fun challenge. So, Chris, if you want to go ahead and flip me back to my other camera.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't we bring this to Brick Fair, Alabama in 2019?
I brought mine, and you and
Okay, so I guess it was just you and you.
It was me and the Bells who went to Brick Fair, Alabama in 2019 to bring ours. So as I was talking earlier about the Mills plate, I wanted to do the same thing, and I thought this would be the great way to do it for micro scale, because as you can see here, I've used this crater where I've gone all the way down to the base to create the bottom of the crater and to give that slope that comes up. And I went a little further higher than the base plate to be able to come down to, again, give that additional texture. And this is where the Mills plates really come into play to giving you that versatility. And while it might be a little more...
I'm looking at Ryan's shirt.
What's that? It looks like Brian's shirt on both sides, doesn't it? Yeah. There's a Fleegnork nest under each one of these little hills. That's probably what it's got to be. But so that's an example of what I was talking about earlier with the Mills plate, and this is a great way of doing it. And because normally when you're doing a micro moon base, you're doing it off of a 16 by 16 base, or not even base plate, but a 16 by 16 plate. And this way you've got, I got more real estate, so I can do 9 all at one time. And so I've got the ones I started out. Somebody Google Mills plate for me while I'm in here. But so this is what I had done. These are still all the original ones I did from when we did the lug challenge. I've got the a little biosphere here for for creating vegetation, and then we've got our shipping platform here. Your long-range communication tower, a throwback to my normal moon base of doing sections, and I actually want to bring up and do like the rotating tower on here. And then this little guy is what I'm really proud of. Is I don't know whether I would call it the power plant or a core vortex, or for me it also kind of felt like, because if I open these up, you might be able to see in there. I've got a little chamber. And it kind of reminds me of the if you watch the Contact movie, so it's like an interdimensional transportation unit. So you could be, beamed somewhere across the cosmos. And I actually went through and I took a bunch of Nexonite shields and sanded off the printing, and then put a small coat of future floor polish on it to take out the scratches, and it actually turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Hey, Dana?
Yeah. I
think the technical term is Stargate.
Stargate, thank you. There you go. Why not just use the word that already exists in common sci-fi terminology? But so that's my little moon base, and my intention is to make it a little bigger and get it to the point where I can actually maybe put 3 or 4 of these together and be able to take them to a show, because I love taking my moon base everywhere, but that's a freaking haul and a day. Where this is just great. It's small, it's convenient. Like Greg was mentioning, it's micro scale. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Boop, pop it on a table and we're good to go.
Yeah. And by the way, in the chat is our friend Brom, and Brom came up with the standard for micro moon base back in 2003, 2004. He came up with that way to do it. And as we were talking about it, a way for folks to participate without having a ton of bricks to have to throw at a Moonbase module and everything. And for those of us in Moonbase and do Moonbase, the big Moonbase stuff, gray plates being a premium and stuff like that, the Mills plate is kind of a challenge for us. Green plates are a little easier, I think, to come by and everything to make mills and stuff like that. And it seems like a great system. And somebody asked, and I posted, somebody answered it, but it's called the Modular Integrated Landscaping System. I'm not sure who came up with it. Hispa Brick had a lot to do with it, I think. But anyway, it's a great system. And if you can build, I know Hoosier Bricks was in here. They build town stuff, and they're knocking out those Mills plates and stuff like that. One of the original goals of the original Moonbase project is to make something that's a simple entry point. So it's a basic plate, basic bricks to make the connectors. And I'm glad somebody can expand on that, but that's kind of our philosophy of keeping it that way.
Yeah.
Like you said, it would be a lot to throw down a bunch of bricks to make those plates, but they do look great, and you can do some really interesting stuff with them. And so I know Michael McClellan and those guys up in the Northeast that you were talking about.
Yep.
Their moon bases are now like 4 plates higher, I guess, than ours, something like that.
Even more so?
Something like that and everything. So actually, it doesn't look too bad when you try to get it together and everything. So it still can be fairly compatible and all that kind of stuff. But micro moon base and micro building actually is a really good entry point, in my opinion, of how to get into building something with quality without having to have a bunch of quantity of bricks. And it's easier to get similar colors together and get some, really clever designs. And Greg has showed us that there a lot of cleverness can go into that with a really good thoughtfulness, and you can make something super amazing and everything. So,
actually, go ahead. Actually,
go ahead.
Just sort of like as a segue to that, I don't have something to build to show. However, I do have something to share. So it's more of a tale to entertain your captain. But it's
let us all pull up to the fire while the captain tells us a tale.
Shall we all hum the Canadian national anthem while we hear the call? Go ahead.
That's right. I want salutes all the way around. Salutes. But anyway, this goes way back. It's actually what got me thinking about it was when thank you was when Greg was talking about way back in the day, RTL, then Lugnet and stuff like that. Back on Lugnet, as you know, everything was like split up, right? Like there was Space Castle, this, but then you even had like smaller. So sometimes you have like Lugnet Space, Microspace, right, or Microbuild or whatever it was. So I remember back at that time, it's like the guys who were doing micro back then, most of them, I apologize if any are in the chat, but it was like real, truly, bottom basement stuff. It was like, a couple plates, a couple rounds, and then they called it a super mega galactic cruiser or whatever, right? So, they kind of took some grief for that, and everyone sort of thought, oh, micro, it's okay, but it doesn't have that wow factor until one special day that Paul, and I have a hard time with his last name, Bulk. It's B-A-U-L-H, right? So he drops in, says, oh, by the by, I built a couple things in Microspace. I built the Empyrean Flame and the Lance of Athena. And I'm just going to, I'm going to see if I can share here, Chris.
Hey, let me add Magnus to the chat. Hey, Magnus, how are you? We'll get to you in a second. Glad you're here, man.
Magnus.
Hey.
The man with the coolest name ever. All right. I wish there was a degree, by the way, Magnus. It would be called Ultra. That would be great. You could be Ultra Magnus for us. That would be amazing.
Okay, Chris, I started to share here. So.
Oh, there it is. Okay, add to the stream. Yeah, I remember when this came out. Yeah.
So this, okay? So if you guys can see this, right? So Paul drops this thing in, and it literally changed the world for micro builds, right? Like when you look at this thing, and you can, it's on Brickshelf, and you can look under P Bulk is his thing, and you look at this thing, and it is just mind blowing. And to this day, like this was what 20 years ago, someone were to bust this out at a convention now, I mean, it'd be like the Beatles, right, man? You have people passing out crying, you'd be like nuts. So this to me is where micro building can go. And when there's lots of people who have sort of taken up the torch since. But I mean, yeah, this is just what I sort of wanted to share to say, like when this happened, it seemed to sort of change it all.
Yeah, I remember with that because it was definitely just mind blowing. All right, Natalie, Meredith, I got your note. Y'all heading out?
We're going to bed. Bedtime. To bed. Good night.
Good night, kiddo. Have a good night. Good to see you, lady.
That micro ship was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Night.
Oh, it is. It really is.
And Paul was one of those guys. Bye. Hey, y'all have a good night. Paul was one of those guys when he didn't say much, and if he said something negative about maybe something you built, you paid attention and you fixed it, right? But if he ever said, "Man, I really like that," when you built something, you're like, "Dude, I won." I mean, because he was really good.
Yeah.
You got to go in the Wayback Machine. There was a guy way back who was a Japanese builder who called himself Kentucky.
Oh,
Works.
yeah.
He had microspace stuff that was nuts. That was like, I don't even know if you could find the stuff on the internet anymore, but at the time it was blowing our minds. Like, it was just amazing.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, and it's a shame. And let me just drop some old man knowledge right here. For those of you who are listening, who are younger fans of the brick and all that kind of stuff, you have the opportunity, especially with all the social medias and stuff, and not websites that disappear and shut down and all that kind of stuff. You keep up with yourselves and keep up with what you've built, because we will be sitting there going, "Dude, remember that thing?" And we can't find it. We can't find that picture anymore, or you can't find that builder, and you worry about that builder, whether they're still in it and all that kind of stuff. Keep up with each other and stay in touch and all that kind of stuff, because iron sharpens iron, man. And what you're doing and what your peers are doing and building makes you a whole lot better, because you're like, I got to play up to that guy's level or that girl's level there and everything. So yeah, man, that's so keep up with your folks and bookmark all those pictures, right? So real quick, Magnus has joined us. Magnus, what is going on in your world today?
I'm good. I heard someone name check a transformer, so I thought I'd just bring him out to. There we go. I'm still getting used to the video being the other way around for me, but not for everyone else.
You know what? You should actually just wear a blue shirt with red highlights and a helmet. That would be amazing.
I should do that for Halloween sometime.
And shoulder pads.
That's right.
Yeah, I definitely would need those shoulder pads.
That's right. What's up in your world today, man?
I'm good. I was glad to have time to stop by a little here. I have a few micro things here. They're not space, but they are micro things. But
too bad. No, remove you. All right, go ahead.
I want to jump in line if there's a showing line.
All right, show us
what you got.
So some of you who've been to Brick Fair for the past 10 years may remember that I have this big kind of modular landscape that I set up, and every time I set it up, it's set up slightly differently because it's modular. And usually I put a lot of minifig scale things on there. Like recently, it's been a lot of G.I. Joe battles, but before then we had other military stuff. We even had like a Napoleonic style battle on this, and every time I set up, it's a different layout. There's mountains and hills, but back in, I forget how long ago it was, Alexander Stein from Norway and I got together and we did a micro scale battle on the same landscape. So we each built a bunch of micro scale vehicles, and let's see what I got here. There's a tank. Let's see. So here's some of the ones I have. Little guys like this. They're 4 wide. And one of the cool things about doing this was that it was we had really a lot of space to spread out on this big terrain. So we ended up building each, and I'm not exaggerating, we each built about 50 vehicles.
Wow.
And we had there's a tank here somewhere. Here's the bridge layer version of the tank.
Oh, make it operate. We got to see it. Does it work? Of course it works.
You know, it opens up like that.
Awesome.
And here's little, and then here's an engineer vehicle, an engineer tank, like with a tow thing. And I got the actual regular tank is here. And I made like 12 of these things. I made, I I had basically the equivalent of a mechanized battalion of vehicles, and Alex had the same thing. And then we spread it out and had a big sort of World War III that thankfully never happened kind of conventional big battle going on. So it was a fun way to use microscale just to sprawl out in size. And it was, people talk about army building and they usually talk about minifigs, but we were actually able to kind of build vehicle-based armies that were just that. It was affordable to do, and we each put in a couple of months, but it wasn't an outrageous expense in terms of time or brick compared to other large builds. And it was a really cool collab to do, and it was cool that we were able to use the same landscape that we otherwise used already for minifig things. So one of the takeaways for all themes is that if you're doing micro scale, you can use the same landscape that you're using for say a minifig scale die-out. You can get rid of the minifig scale stuff, but keep the landscape, and then populate it with a different scale altogether, and that can work just as well.
Absolutely.
That's super awesome. Let me see. Can I see what the thing? Go ahead, Greg.
Go ahead.
Gil.
No, Magnus, I thought, was it you who was involved in something where you used mini builds like this for like a strategy kind of game? Or was it Goldman? I thought someone had something where they basically built small scale vehicles and they did like war gaming stuff.
I have not done that. I've done a lot of wargaming at minifig scale, which and not Brick Wars, but another wargaming system that I haven't done micro scale wargaming, but I would love to get into that.
Well, there's a game called Chris. Is it Brick or Mark? Is it Brick Arms? No, is it
Brickmania?
Yeah,
Brickmania has a set of games.
Or Brick
Wars. Brick Wars, where you're making little mechs that are about yay high, I think, that you can do, that they've got a whole rule book for, and it's all space-wise kind of thing. And I think I've actually got some of them around here somewhere, but I'll see if I can look for a minute.
All right. Dana, did you actually share something else to add to the thing?
Yeah, I got a quick couple things to share real quick. So I know we're talking space because we love space, but as we also did here, as Chris has also done, we did a new mock challenge that was Micro City. And as you can see, it actually didn't dawn on me until we were talking about this, that the Micro City standard uses basically a little 16 by 16 mils plate. Believe it or not. So, it's kind of funny. So we actually have three of them. This is the first one. This is the second one, and you can see here by using the terrain, Mark and his son. Was this Mark or was it Chris that did the boats? It was Mark.
Yeah, that was myself and Paul.
Yeah, you and Paul did the boat, so you could, by doing that terrain down here, you got to be able to show the water. But because everybody on this stream is also Transformer fans, I had to show this other one. Six of these were all done by one guy in our lug named Noel. And if you can see right here, I don't know if you noticed this little truck that's down here.
It's Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Optimus Prime in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he threw Optimus Prime in there, and he laid these down on the table, and I called it out right away. I'm like, did you throw Optimus Prime in there? He's like, I was so glad somebody noticed. So, no, just so freaking awesome. Just so freaking awesome. So, but that's I just wanted to show because I knew everybody would love the Optimus Prime there.
No, that is cool. You know what we should have done, Dana? We should have made a little front plate to cover up the front of those.
I did that the first year, and the second year, or this time we were doing it, I felt like I was a chicken running around with my head cut off and totally forgot to do it. So I got to go back and take individual pictures, and I think when I do that, I'll throw the plates on.
No, that's fine. I mean, it looks great. And this is a club thing. We're kind of wrapped around our Dixie Lug is where a lot of us are from now, about to be called Peach Lug. But being able to take the stuff we're building and connect it together in our community is super, super, super cool. So, if you are don't belong to a lug, I highly, highly recommend you get as a part of a lug, not just because you get freebies, because you might, but it's just collaborative build. It allows you to learn skills from somebody else and let them, kind of pour into you some skill, and you get to pour in them to some skill and everything. And that's the thing with the micro build, which is really exciting that we talked about it, because it's a simpler way to build, but it also, you got to be super more creative with it. Is that an alien moonstalker? Show me. There it is.
And unfortunately, I got to drop off. So thank you for inviting me on tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, you have actually inspired all of us big time, and we're glad you're here, and glad we're getting to chat with you and the Discord that we do and all that kind of jazz. It's actually fun to put a face to an old name from back in the day. So, man, thank you for joining us tonight.
All right. Thanks. You guys have a good night.
All right. You too, man. You too.
Sure.
Greg.
You too.
All right. Man, that stuff's cool, man. If you haven't gone to his Instagram, you need to, and pour through that, because it's super perfect. But the micro thing seems like it would be easy, but in some ways it's actually extra hard, because I guess the efficiency of the brick that you got to choose. Yeah, because you got to okay, if I put this brick here, this represents a whole lot more. Does the viewer decode that? And what Greg has done decode so easy, which shows a lot of skill and everything. So before we go, what are some tips that you have? What you got there? Some tips that maybe you have about building micro scale or whatever.
So this is this is basically straight out of the book, the instructions on what to do in the little micro scale mech game. And they have, you're rolling dice and you're calculating your hits and your misses.
Oh, nice.
But this is addictive. I really enjoy building in this scale, because you're doing all sorts of weird little techniques with pieces that you would never even think about using to get the articulation to work on these things. I'll look up I can't remember the name of the rules for it, but it's phenomenal. So again, just pimping other cool micro scale stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool. So, all right, and the good thing is sometimes, I've started a ship and I've set it aside because I started getting aggravated with it. It's so nice to go build something small, to put some skill into it, to accomplish something, so you can say, okay, I finished this, and go back to building something big. So, but it also proves you don't have to have a massive collection to make something amazing. You've just got to put some creativity into the bricks that you have and pour it in there. So, all right. Any other thoughts? We've gone about an hour and a half. It's gone by so quick. So, Rich, you got something?
One last thing too. That's really cool. Sorry.
Yeah. What you got?
Oh, nice. Sorry, I was looking.
There's a lot of personally molded pieces here, but there we are.
Whoa, did you cheat on
that?
Yeah, that's some euphemism.
Yeah, I cheated on it, but I got what I wanted, so it's not really for general consumption.
Well, put it back up there one more time. There it is. Let's see it one more time. Put it up there. That's pretty sweet.
That's very nice.
It's for my own personal consumption, so I don't care.
I got you. I actually wanted to get the ship in the bottle set and put an Enterprise in there, because that would have been super cool, but I never got that. All right. Hey, Gil, what were you saying?
Yeah, there's just one more thing too, and I've seen this more on Flickr, not on Instagram too much yet, but there was some really accomplished microspace builders that, because they could take the scale, and suddenly now they could, do fleet battles, do bases, landings, this kind of stuff. The opportunity for some really incredible photography comes in, because now you can really plan out a scene. So that's the other major advantage to that scale.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got Rich. You got some love going on in the chat from Jeff McElwee. I hope I didn't butcher your name, Jeff. But loving on the ships and everything. So, the Reliant. Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Yeah. So there is, and you do have to take really good care if you're making photography of stuff that small, right? Because I mean, one little wiggle and you got a blurry shot. You can forgive that in a big mock, but and small scale like that, it's really, really important. So,
okay. And the name of the game, for this scale, it's called Mobile Frame Zero.
Mobile frame. Oh yeah, somebody actually mentioned that in the chat. Let me give them some credit.
Myers. Yep.
Yeah, you did. I can't find that comment, or I'll highlight it. There it is.
I also have to say that things like this didn't come out of a vacuum a couple years ago when I displayed it at Brick Fair. During the late 70s and early 80s, based on the classic space parts that I had, I was doing ships that were this big in micro scale. So before there was a micro scale, I was trying to do micro scale.
That's cool.
Well,
there was just no way to share that kind of stuff.
You know what? I can remember. You know what? The first thing I ever built micro scale. Now thinking about it, because I wanted to build it and everything. It was the Phoenix from Battle of the Planets back in the 70s. I had two 1x2 red slopes, and for the wing tips, and the flat red slope for the front. But building that ship, right, was a dream. You didn't get it. I mean, it was nowhere close to. It couldn't make the point because we didn't have those bricks and everything. But making that, I mean, I can remember making it and then whooshing it all over. And when I couldn't find that, when I wanted to rebuild it, I couldn't find that 1x2 red slope and digging through my telescope box with all my Lego in it because I knew I had to. But yeah, so I built micro scale back in 79 or whatever and loved it. And so it's a great scale. It's a great scale for new builders, old builders to pump into and everything. So that's super awesome. Any other comments or anything you got to say about building micro magnets?
Well, one of the cool things about micro, and I'm sorry if it was mentioned before I joined, is it anytime you're not building minifig scale, it frees you from the minifigs, which are not proportioned like normal human beings. So it's just that it's smaller and you don't need to fit people in. It's not just that it's smaller, but it's also you're not dealing with building doorways that need to be 4 studs wide for a person to walk through. That's like a 4 foot wide.
There's restrictions.
Right? So like I'm thinking something like castle building, where castle building in minifig scale is really restricted by the chunkiness of the figs and the castle wall thickness and stuff like that. Like minifig scale is it's nice just to get away from the figs for a moment.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. And you can you can work on proper proportions of reality versus mini fig kind of chunkiness that you got going on. So oh look, I wonder who Matt's talking to. But yeah, Mom, I got some pickles. And you don't like pickles?
I'd like 2 large pizzas with extra pepperoni and triple cheese. Side buffalo wings.
No,
I need the anchovies.
No, I don't think that he's put on the shirt yet. I don't know if he will. I don't know. I keep waiting, but yeah, no, nothing.
It's so glad I'm so glad it's not me.
The best part is he hasn't noticed yet, and then he's gonna look. Wait. Oh, we got to keep this up.
He's just looking way too happy for a man on the phone.
And now he's like, "They have me on Zoom?"
It's so funny when it's not happening to me. All right, so thank y'all for joining us. We had a lot of fun and a lot of folks in the chat, and thank y'all for joining us over there. Like I said, you guys are just old friends talking about the brick. It feels like I'm at Brick Fair every time we come and hang out, and that's the best part about all this. So I really appreciate y'all coming on. We had a lot of other guest, and possibly Matt will never come back again when he figures out what we can do it to him.
Oh, if that was the case, you would have lost me weeks ago.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Anyway, so it is a pleasure to talk to my friends and everything. each and every week. So I got actually something I've got polished up. If you watch Kevin Hinkle, and Kevin Hinkle draws, I'm actually going to be his host tomorrow from 10 to 1. So I'll be the person taking requests and helping him figure out what to do. Oh, Hinkle. Woo, Hinkle.
You invoked the Hinkle.
I invoked the Hinkle. So, but yeah, so I'm going to be his host, I hope, and I hope I don't blow that and really make myself look like a fool. And the theme is toys, so I'm super excited about that and everything. So yeah, there's your Hinkle stuff there. So thank y'all for joining us. If you just joined us for the first time, like and subscribe and all that jazz. I am 9 away from having 200 subscribers on this channel, so that'd be cool if we could go ahead and get over that this weekend and all that kind of stuff. Be super cool. And Jake and I will be making a video of some of the Lego stuff we did this week. Anything anybody else wants to promote that they're doing online or anything like that? Or
I actually found Danish Space Program, and he found me, or I don't know which one it was, but I've been actually posting every day. I do a classic space, or actually your daily dose of Lego space, and I started out on the first year of the classic space sets, and I'm doing a set a day all the way up through hopefully Spirius. So if you look up Troubles, not Troubles Rovering, but Troubles Brewing on Instagram, you'll get your daily dose of Lego space.
Yes, and he is also posting that. You're posting that across to a lot of the Facebook groups, and stuff too. So, yeah, be checking that out and check out his Instagram. Anything else anybody wants to mention or promote or say hi to your mom or something? I don't know.
Hi, Mom.
All right.
Hi, Mom.
All right. Wave bye, everybody. Do something creative. Be kind to somebody, and when you do it, make it space. All right. Good night, everybody.